Well, CSI was started a number of years ago when the CFIA decided they did a last round of cost recoveries in the mid-90s. And so they were doing a lot of going in and doing the inspection and grading a label of seed at the establishments. So they felt that this is one of the, in their last round of cost recovery, going through everything, they figured this was something that the industry could deliver. That whole, the ability to go in and let the industry grade and label their own seed, but to do that, they felt that they need to have, the establishments need to have a quality management system in place. So as they teased through things over the mid-90s, they came up with, the industry came back. The industry, I mean, is the Canadian Seed Growers Association, then the Canadian Seed Trade originally came and said, had this proposal to basically to give birth and that proposal gave birth to CSI, and that's the delivery basically of the audit, the oversight of the seed labs, or not the seed labs, but the seed establishments. So setting up the quality management systems for them, for those people to be able to deliver their own or self-grading and labeling of seed. So CSI's role is a little bit, when I start looking at the big picture, CFI still is responsible for the seed program in Canada. And under those areas of responsibility, there's a bit of a delegation of duties. So I guess CSGA, in the crop production side, they look after the standards anyway for seed crop production. So that's for every crop kind you can imagine in Canada except potatoes. So the CFI maintains the inspection and the work on the potatoes. But when it comes to, so CSGA then looks after prescribes the standards for seed crop production, but they also praise crop reports and do the certification. So they work though with CFIA. It's the CFIA inspectors that physically go in and inspect the crops and report back to CSGA. So once CSGA's job done and a certificate's issued, the grains, the seed is in the bin, that's where CSI kicks in. So we are responsible then for all the individuals who clean, process, treat, grade and label seed. All those seed establishments or the facilities that store the seed in bulk and retail it, or we go in and audit them and their quality management systems to make sure they're doing so in a consistent way. And so our job is to report on those seed establishments, make recommendations basically to CFIA, who's really ultimately the registrar for the establishments. We have about 1,100 altogether, and so there's probably about 650 are approved conditioners, and then about another 850 are bulk storage facilities. But when you combine, some are both, and so when you combine those, there'd be about somewhere around 1,100 in total in Canada. Right now, Diane Gahuli, she's a CSAC member. On our board, she's the current president, and Jeff Reed from CCAN is our current vice president. And I should say too, Sean, that CSAC, partway after a few years, so in the mid-90s, originally the Canadian Seed Trade and CSGA came together to begin the proposal to develop CSI, but partway a year or two later, CSAC got involved as well as another stakeholder. So there's really the three groups involved. And then we also have the seed cleaning plants in Alberta are involved, and also in Quebec. I think it's going to be a big challenge. So CFIA is very clear now. This week we've officially, their official announcement was that they're stepping back of the direct delivery of crop inspection. So I think it's really settling in now with the industry. They have to. It's time to absorb it. So I think CFIA are still going to stay involved in oversight of the program. That's certainly in the short term. When I say that, I think for 5 years, maybe 10, they're still going to have still be involved. But they're stepping back. So we're working with them for sure. Both the seed trade as well, CSJ and CSI are all providing feedback and working with CFI to see what can be done, what kind of solutions could be in place to replace approximately about 100 to 120 casual laborers, casual staff for CFIA that help look after crop inspections each year. So it's a little bit of a challenge to try and picture how that path will be moving forward. We're still kind of early, in the stages of the discussions, and the industry, we really do need the feedback from the industry right now. What kind of interest is out there to take on those, the responsibilities or roles of inspecting the crops. So, CSI definitely has some knowledge, expertise. Ours is largely in the audit end, auditing and so on, quality management systems and so on. So it really depends on, what CFI's feedback is and what they'd be looking for from the alternate service delivery providers. Do they want or need them to have quality management systems in place? Is there a role potential? There could be a role for CSI to play in helping CFI provide oversight of the alternate service delivery participants, or we could potentially look at facilitating or trying to work with individuals or organizations that want to get involved in direct delivery of the crop inspection. So there's some more pieces, I guess, that need to be added to the players need to know what opportunities are out there, the cost structures, what's involved, what training requirements are, if there's quality management systems in place, who's providing the training for the crop inspectors. So CFIA will still be largely involved. They're communicating that to us in that regard. They'll be involved in the training and in the oversight. It's just these 100, 120 inspectors will no longer be reporting to CFIA. So the CSGA also, it changes a little bit how CSGA does their business as well. Not sure, if they have the interest or the ability to provide oversight of inspectors. I think there's some possibilities for us moving forward, but I think, for the industry, if we're trying to maintain a real cost-effective model, we really need, I think, the industry to step forward, or individuals to step forward even, to say that they're interested and can do the job. Yeah, so a number of years ago, the CSI had decided, 6 or 7 years ago, that we have a certain knowledge and expertise, but the seed industry is really a finite business in Canada, and so the idea was we have inspectors that are already going into the seed program. We have a number of clients that were interested in organic certification, for instance. And since they were looking at our auditors and inspectors being there, and they were familiar with us, and were starting to really appreciate the services that CSI delivered, we started to deliver other programs like organic certification. So now CSI today, we're an organic certification body. We deliver organic inspections for both processor and crop inspections to the Canada Organic Standards, but also with equivalency to EU and the national organic standards of the United States. And we also can deliver the Japanese agricultural standards in organic certification. We also work with the Canadian Grain Commission. They have the identity preservation programs for grain handling, and for the HACCP food safety programs as well that they've developed. They're excellent programs, generic in nature to the grain industry. So we provide audits for them as well. So and we work under agreement or under contract with them to deliver the audits on their behalf. And then we have other programs. We work with the Canadian Landscape Nursery Institute. So they have phytosanitary programs that they developed a number of years ago in the nursery industry. So there's a number of nursery industry personnel that we're trying to sell and move nursery products into the nursery plants and so on into the U.S. And with some of the disease issues that they were having, they needed some sort of a program to demonstrate that they were having some quality management system in place to protect and prevent diseases from occurring. So we got involved with the Nursery Landscape Institute because they didn't have the expertise on the inspection side. So again, we were able to provide additional business and service with our knowledge of our inspectors and deliver that service for them. Well, we've got, with our staff here, we have lots of discussions with our staff and with our board, really to take a look at the changes in the seed program and what's happening, to see if there's what we can do to help the industry get through this hump and hurdle and move forward and hopefully make things stronger. So that's one of our goals. Our other goals is, you know, we think in our other business, the Center for System Integration side, we want to continue. I think we're in a position now, especially now that I've been here for, I've got a year under my belt, to begin to promote that a little bit further and see what we can do for our existing clients and new clients, you know, to provide them quality management systems, audits of their systems and other programs.